For all you fellers wondering about the Gloria Victis documentary that was up for a day, it will be back up eventually. It was taken down for music copyright. Pretty frustrating considering in the 24 hours it was up, the video did very well. It would mean the world to me if when the documentary is back up, all you swampers could drop another like and comment to get it back into the algorithm. Just as a friendly reminder to Jog that I'm still pouring my time and effort and heart into creating content for his game. It's the Christmas season, so that means Jog has assumed his Santa form. I might as well use this opportunity to say, all I want for Christmas is for my permaban to be lifted. Give me restrictions, give me a trial, I promise you, Santa Jog! You will see an increase in player activity and retention in Sangmar that will blow your mind. I love Gloria Victis, you love Gloria Victis, we both have that in common, and I really think we can build on it. Come on, man, you got me in the DMs, hit me up, I'm not as crazy as you think. Black Eye Games released patch notes last week with big upcoming changes. I was on the fence about making a video, but you know what? I can't tell if they're getting enough credit because I'm banned from the Discord, obviously. Hopefully they're not getting any overwhelmingly bad criticism. I'm convinced at this point that listening to the community feedback is futile. The few players we have don't know jack shit about preparing a game for Steam release and not only maintaining but improving player activity. Ultimately fixing player retention issues, I believe. If you've played long enough and you're not brainwashed by a terrible figurehead for the EU community like Wintar, you should be able to see where I'm coming from. Now, these upcoming changes aren't necessarily the things the game needs to succeed, but rather a strong indicator that the GV development team has gained consciousness of the direction they need to push the game. Allow me to explain. Gloria Victis suffers from a lack of identity. Initially, Black Eye Games wanted it to be heavily influenced by the story, without a linear questline, and affected by player decisions. They're going to get really butthurt when I say this, because they take pride in their story writing, but it's not their forte. Not in the video game world. Jog, I love your game, man, and I mean all this with the utmost respect, but the Monte Cristo style of dialogue through NPCs is not good. It's fucking boring, dude. Nobody gave a fuck about the lore or quest. You guys realized it, so they shifted focus to making it a hardcore, punishing skill-based PvP game. Players loved it. They enjoyed it. They received hardcore fans. But they hit a relatively low ceiling for the expectations of a massively multiplayer online RPG. They shifted their focus again to being a generously forgiving PvP game with a much lower skill floor, while also lowering the ceiling, without polishing anything in the game surrounding these vastly different concepts, but still trying to include all of them. It made the overall experience, well, underwhelming. I love to lurk on new players because I'm a fucking creep, so I'm always chatting with players on Twitch and YouTube. It always gives Jog the impression that I really am the bottleneck in NA player retention. I'm not one of those dickhead shills who are going to argue with a noob complaining about the game, trying to tell them they're wrong. I instead try to analyze the root of their complaints, what in the game is making them feel or think the way they are.
I've done the C rates, I do frontier pass. I even dig up maps on the middle of the map as well, and I'm trying to do whatever I can. What about fishing? Yeah, I leveled fishing as well. What about archaeology? I leveled that too. I leveled it all. It's not that hard. And this game isn't about leveling shit. It's about killing shit with a fucking weapon. No skill shit. Rah! Rah! Die! Die! That's the game. Give me more of that shit.
Let's dive into these upcoming changes. Firstly, we've got turning the guild castles, which all reside in what we call the middle of the map, into nation-controlled castles. Your shitty guild that only thinks it's good because Zerg meta for the win is having its castle stripped away from you. Damn, that must suck. These castles, like all of the other castles, are able to be sieged at all times now. A long time ago, it feels like I was talking with Duronk about what needs to be done to elevate Gloria Victis to the next level. These patch notes came close to it.
Holy shit. Remember when we had the discussion about this shit on stream, bro? That they should just make guild castles siegeable at all times? That would create so much more urgency and much more activity. Holy fuck, they're actually... This is a good idea. Dude, this is what I wanted them to do. Damn. I like that. I like that change. If you want to hold a castle, you gotta be active doing it. To have enforced that. But instead, like, before, it was like a once a week thing. Now, it's constant. Constant engagement. That is the key to a PvP game.
Now, the question remains, because this is a core function, where are guild castles going, and what's happening with State of Wars? Well, fortunately for us, they answer that. Something I find interesting is seeing the functions and mechanics from the initial Kickstarter in 2014 that they haven't abandoned after all these years, 10 years. Every guild will have the opportunity to buy their own castle on an island that you teleport to using the clustered servers that they've been testing out for the past year or so. If State of Wars receive any changes at all, they'll be geared towards making them more guild versus guild focused. I imagine the siege process will be more or less the same, but you won't have to worry about getting flanked traveling to your location to defend or attack. As long as the sieging process is affordable for other guilds to initiate, it says you're able to set the frequency of attacks to every day. Not bad, Black Eye Games, not bad. Next upcoming change is reducing the loot zone to only the middle of the map, making the outer ring, which contains majority of the flags, non-loot. This is another change some players are really gonna dislike, but most new players will certainly appreciate. Personally, I want the game to be full loot open world PvP. But look guys, the honest truth is that the developers compromising with such a small sample size for how potentially big their MMO could be is a big mistake. This isn't to say don't listen to the community's opinions at all, but rather there are certain things bigger than the community's opinions. Making players feel more comfortable to capture locations and travel across the map, that is a good thing. An additional way to do this that Duronk and I once talked about was adding PvP rewards or a PvP reward shop. You acquire PvP tokens from doing quests that hopefully sometimes involve killing enemies, that you can then turn in for rewards. The main idea behind this is to give players risking their lives in the middle of the map more return. The problem always has been that there's not much to gain for players who are bad at PvP, yet they have everything to lose. Or I guess they feel like they do. It seemed like the devs thought the fix was PvE loot, but all we have are rats scared to engage with real players. Hate me all you want, but making the entire world non-loot with instanced events being lootable is the only real fix, and I think Black Eye Games might just figure that out. For once, I have a little bit of faith. That's it for this video. Peace out, Swampers.